Gerda Haas was a Holocaust survivor. She's also done her part to make sure those awful memories live on as a reminder of what should never happen again. In addition to writing about the Holocaust, even for children, she's a founder of the Holocaust and Human Rights Center of Maine. Its mission, using the lessons of the Holocaust and other events past and present, we encourage individuals and communities to reflect and act upon their moral responsibilities to confront prejudice, intolerance, and discrimination. Gerda Haas's son, David, is here to accept her honor.
Thank you. I'd like to acknowledge my sister Hetty from Boston, who is in the audience as well. At age 17, my mother's education was cut short. And when she arrived in Maine, she went during her 45 years here from not knowing how to cook corn. The instructions in the cookbook said, cook the corn until soft. And after about 45 minutes, she didn't understand why it wasn't getting soft. She went from really not having that kind of an education, from knowing what the basics were of a normal life, to going to college, to Bates in 1969, freeing me up to have my favorite lunch every day of potato chips and sour cream. Then graduate school, then a nomination to the Maine State Board of Education, followed by a very active role in the National Association of State Boards of Education, and then finally culminating in becoming the founding director of the Holocaust Human Rights Center of Maine. Maine has been very good to her. I spoke to her this morning. She mentioned that she'd been up all night and been thinking about this all day, all morning. She's very much honored by what you've done for her. She moved in 1992 to Minneapolis to be near family, where she and my father could be well taken care of. And in that time, at age 85, she was nominated to be on the Hennepin County Library Commission. She took that job. And she came back with stories of visiting the library in the prison in Hennepin County. And she charmed the majority African-American men who were probably 6 to 12 inches taller than her. She's continued to charm people. The St. Louis Park Police Department sends officers over to interview her to understand more about justice and what it means to be a police officer in American society. And she's now slowing down a little bit at age 95, and is sorry she can't be here. But she does appreciate the honor, and I want to just let you know that pretty much every day she reminds me of the lesson of both of my parents, which is that the things that you do for yourself go with you when you die. The things that you do for others remain as your legacy. Thank you.
Gerda Schild is a survivor of the Holocaust and the founder of the Holocaust and Human Rights Center of Maine. The Gerda Schild Haas papers at the Edmund S. Muskie Archives and Special Collections Library contain her organizational and creative materials. She and her husband and life partner, Dr. Rudolf Haas, who passed away in 2006. Gerda was born in 1922 into a religious family in Ansbach, Germany. Her father was the Jewish butcher of the town, and her mother often helped him in the store. Gerda had a sister to whom she was very close. After Kristallnacht, November 9, 1938, the Schild family was forced to sell their house and store and move to Munich. Gerda's mother died at Riga, and her sister died at Auschwitz. Gerda later became a full nurse at the Jewish hospital in Berlin, and after liberation, she wrote to the Red Cross and found her father in New York. Gerda immigrated to the United States in 1946 and became a citizen. In 1969, Gerda enrolled at Bates College and graduated 2 years later in 1971, summa cum laude. While working as an assistant catalog librarian at Bates College, she received her MLS from the University of Maine, Orono in 1974. She also worked as a part-time German instructor at the University of Maine from 1971 to 1973. From 1977 to 1982, Gerda worked on and published These I Do Remember, Fragments from the Holocaust. The book chronicles the lives of 9 victims of the Shoah, including herself. Gerda served as a librarian at Bates College from 1972 to 1984. In the late 1970s, Governor Longley appointed Gerda to the State School Board of Education. In 1982, Gerda received a grant to organize a conference and a statewide outreach program focused on the Holocaust. She became the founding mother of the Holocaust and Human Rights Center of Maine, whose mission is to promote universal respect for human rights through outreach and education. Using the lessons of the Holocaust and other events past and present, we encourage individuals and communities to reflect and act upon their moral responsibilities to confront prejudice, intolerance, and discrimination, said Gerda. He has most generously extended, among many other places, to the Maine Jewish Museum and to the Portland Museum of Art, where she and her husband, Leonard Lauder, gave a recent donation representing the museum's largest matching gift ever.